Yeah, I know. uh, yeah, all those things I would never dream of doing. My wife and I looked at that storyboard for the State Farm commercial. I said, "You got to do this," because none of it's me. Although I started taking yoga in Arizona, and but it's really tough to match my experience at Yankee Stadium. I mean, the fans were unbelievable. The fans here, they're, I don't want to say more forgiving, but they sort of embrace the players in a different way. Yeah, they're they're very passionate. Obviously, they come out in numbers. We came after, I think, after we clinched, and I think, was it beat the Cubs, or no, we beat the Cubs the first couple of games, and we come back here. And people would just come in and sit in the stands. It was an unbelievable experience for us. Um, and we come out even after we lose, and they're there loving the heck out of us. And then it's great. They're very nice people here. They know baseball. I mean, that's never been an issue out here. They've had baseball out here for 50 years. So I mean, Major League Baseball. They had, minor league baseball out in this area before that. So they're certainly into what we're doing. To see what Manny did here last year was pretty amazing. How somebody asked me, can I name players in my recollection that had the same kind of impact on a city that Manny did? And the ones that came to mind right away was Stan Musial in St. Louis. He couldn't do anything wrong. Willie Mays in New York, and San Francisco, but New York. And I'm assuming Joe DiMaggio in New York. Joe played, his last year was 51. I was like 10 years old, 11 years old. So I don't remember a lot about Joe DiMaggio. Manny, in a short period of time last year, and he was the flavor of the month for me, because everywhere I went in the off season, what about Manny? What about Manny? Even people that didn't know anything about baseball wanted to know about Manny. But the fans are different here. I think winning a World Series here would be amazing to just witness the reaction of them. I know what the players' reaction would be, but the fans, to have a city that had the NFL for the longest time, and of course you have the Lakers, who are probably favored to win everything this year, and the hockey team that's struggling somewhat, but baseball, I mean, it's been my life, so I guess I'm a little prejudiced in that regard. I think the fans would really have a ball out here.
What do you think Manny brings to the clubhouse, aside from the long hair and the salsa?
See, that's what everybody thinks he's made of, but it's a work ethic that I wasn't aware of. I mean, I managed him in several All-Star games, and he was always a fun-loving guy, and you could see his ability to play and hit. But I never realized how hard he works on a daily basis at his craft. I'll give you an example. At spring training, I'm at the ballpark like 6:45 every morning, and he's usually there before I am. He's in the weight room, or he's doing tee work off, batting cage. Every single day, he's in that batting cage. It may be for 5 minutes, maybe for 15 minutes, until he gets it right. If you watch him take batting practice, every swing he takes, it's like a game for him. And it's a work ethic that when you have young kids, it's a great example to have that about him. Unfortunately, what went on in Boston will never leave his resume, whatever that was. I don't think anybody knows the whole story. But what he's done for this ball club in helping them grow up, I think, is was a big reason why we went as far as we did last year.
Coach, right now you have Ethier hitting behind Manny lineup. Do you see that being consistent, and can it change depending if a lefty starting?
Yes. If a lefty, that's a good question. If a lefty started, chances are I'd put Russell there, and then put Ethier, and then probably Matt Kemp, and then Loney, depending on who's hitting better at the time. That's one thing about the lineup. You know, you have that ability. It's like when I used to play games in my basement with my friends. You know, you could do this every day, do something different. But Manny, I think, hitting in the first inning right now between the right after the two switch hitters looks like something I'm comfortable with. Plus, we're giving him plenty of protection with the guys hitting behind him.
Hey Joe, who on this team you think is going to surprise the most people?
I'm going to go out there and tell you James Loney. I think he's going to really blossom this year into a great offensive player. Not that he wasn't a good one last year, but I think he's going to have people turning their heads this year.
Hey Joe, what team's going to provide the biggest challenge in the NL West this year, and what you guys as a team you need to do to win the West again?
Well, you know, you hate to dismiss anybody. I mean, Colorado gave up Holiday, and you know, the pitcher Francis is going to be out the whole year. You know, San Diego, you know, Jake Peavy's pretty damn good. But again, they're not going to be one of the favorite clubs. Anytime you look, and I've learned this over the years, when you look at a team about who's going to give you trouble, it's going to be the team with pitching. So, you know, you have Heron and Webb, and you have, you know, you have Garland over there. They have good pitching. Go to San Francisco. They're pretty damn good. They're pretty good. You know, you got Zito. You know, he started coming to, returning to form last year. You got Matt Cain. You have Lincecum as something. You have Randy Johnson, who any day could, you know, certainly completely control it. So their pitching, to me, is probably the strongest in our division right now, and that scares me more than anything, because good pitching can always control the game, and that's why in postseason play, it's the team that hits it often and not far is the one that usually is going to win, and you know, being able to handle tough pitchers is something you hope you get practice in during the season.